Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Angela, and I am the host of Walk in Purpose on the O&E Dynasty. I am coming to you tonight on behalf of Damon Speaks. I am now the new commissioner of Damon Speaks, and this is a new platform that we're going to be using to give you an opportunity to get to know our host behind the O&E Dynasty. We have, of course, Damon, the product, Damon product, and Beverly Nation. So I will be sharing with you over the time, course of months and weeks and years to come. Our host on this platform. Of course, I am a host on the Damon Network. My show airs every 4 weeks on Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. and it's called Walking in Purpose with Angela. Tonight, I have a very special guest. And before I bring her on, she is one of my co hosts. She is the voice behind the Geri Petito Show. So if you tune in on every 4 weeks on Tuesday, you will hear Geri Petito in the Geri Petito Show. She is our Jersey Jewel. Of course, I have a joke with her, the Jersey Who, but only her and I and a couple people that follow me know why we do that. But she's a doll. I fell in love with her when I first became a part of the network. She was one of the very first hosts that reached out to me after my very first show on the network. I tell you, I don't take anything lightly. I think that my life is totally ordained by God. I truly think that He had me on a mission, and that is a mission to touch lives. And in order for me to do the things that I do, um, He placed me around in connection with some amazing people that can help me get to the next level. And I tell you, I was a guest on this network. And when I went on as a guest, I was given the opportunity to come back as a host. So while during my intern, Geri tuned into my show. And I think the very next day after my first show that she tuned into, she reached out to me. And when she reached out to me, it was at a time when I was really going through some things. I am a survivor of domestic violence, for those that don't know. And the day that she reached out to me was actually my 6 year um, anniversary for surviving domestic violence and being shot point blank range with a shotgun. And the day she reached out to me, she had no idea that that was going on in my life. But the day that she reached out to me, I tell you, she touched my life in an amazing way because she was so inspirational to me on that day. I had an opportunity to go on her show and share a little bit about my testimony. So tonight, she's on Damon Speaks to share a little bit about who Geri Petito is, the Jersey Jewel behind the voice of the Geri Petito Show. So I'm going to bring her up and allow her to share just a little bit about who she is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am super, super excited to have you on tonight and give the followers an opportunity to see that face behind the voice of the Geri Petito Show. You people want to know who you are. I mean, they tune in. It's obvious that they are tuning in because we are now reaching over 2.5 million listeners. So it's obvious that they are tuning in and they are listening to our shows. So now I want to give them an opportunity to put a face to that voice. So I want to give you an opportunity to share with those that are tuning in live now and those that would tune in later and catch this replay because I'm going to upload to every social media outlet I can because I want to get the word out about the host, the amazing host that we have on the O&E Dynasty. So I'm about to turn it over to my Jersey Who, my Jersey Jewel, Geri Petito.
So, Angela. All right, I keep moving this. I want to get this right. So, listen, first of all, I want to say thank you to you for this incredible platform tonight. The wonderful things you said about me, you had me almost tearing up, okay? I want to say something about you as well, so all the listeners can hear this. When I first heard her as a guest on O&E, it was her spirit, her voice, everything about her that made me want to call into her. And then it made me want to reach out to her. And I fell in love with her as well. Okay. She is definitely my sister in Christ. And I just love Angela Thomas Smith. And, her show is awesome. I'm on the same week as her on O&E, and I'm the Tuesday. And so I'm really happy. We have we call it the Power Week. Andrea Kaczynski from The Voice of Hope, Huni Magic Man, Huni Bakatoon. We're all in the same week, and it's just an amazing, incredible week for everyone to tune into on O&E. And I'm on Beverly Nation, and so she's on D.A.M.O.N. So I'm going to tell everyone about the Jersey Who, because it's such a cute little story. I just want to tell you what that means to me and Angela. So when she first came on, I've broken a lot of records with listeners. I was actually the first host on O&E to break the 500,000, then the million, which was incredible. She's after me, and she broke a record the same week I did. And I actually handed over my crown. I called in and I handed over my crown, said, this is the Jersey Jewel. Well, we were going back and forth on messaging, just messing around with each other. And she's like, the Jersey Who? And I would put a cartoon with a crown, like fixing my crown, like I'm going to get it back from you. You know what I mean? So that's our little cute thing. We absolutely love each other and respect each other. So having said that, I'm going to read a poem, and then I'm going to tell you about me and my book. But the reason I want to read this poem first is because it's titled My Story, and you'll get a little bit about me. I thought I'd share my story in a more poetic way to give you guys some insight on what I want to say. I grew up in a crazy Italian home where boundaries did not exist. No such thing as personal space. As I grew up, I started to resist. My sign is a Pisces, and it really holds true. I'm artistic and curious with all that I do. My heart on my sleeve is where it was worn. That good and that bad fish always made me feel torn. Everything possible there was to explore. My bucket list was huge. Every day I wanted more. It got me into trouble, from art school into drugs, traveling all over the world, even tasting some bugs. Getting pregnant, then married, and of course came divorce. I lived myself unmanageable, challenged everything with force. Outside of the box is where I belonged, but I always made right whatever I wronged. I fought structure and rules and never regretted. I only worried when needed. Small stuff, never sweated. Being self-employed too young and making too much money, it got me into trouble. Now life was not so funny. Being so young and being so sick, I woke up and thought I need help quick. So I stopped all the crap and begged God to hear me. He saved me that day, and he decided to spare me. He saved my life and gave me my calling. Now go help others, the ones that are falling. My entire life since I was young was finding the broken who I was among. 25 years later, God said, write our book. I smiled and thought, okay, now I know this is what it took. I'll never regret my choices because I'm the person I am today. I'll always pay it forward if I can help in any way. Health coaching's my passion. On my radio show too. I love helping others. It's what I'm made to do. My life-changing choice that I had once made, over 29 years now, guys, my debt has been paid. So that's a little bit about me growing up. I was at first a functioning drug addict. I owned a beauty salon. Like I said, made way too much money, way too young. There were reasons why I started using drugs. We all have our reasons. We all do. But then there's got to become reasons why you wake up one day and say enough is enough. Okay? So whether it's family, children, whatever it is, that's what we need to do. I want to share a little bit with you guys about addiction. and why we need to look at it differently. That's really important. So I wrote my book in 2016, and it was this small. So what's in this book is really the meat of what I want to talk about addiction. Okay. And after the book was written, I got a call from the owner of Hamilton Radio, Doc G, and he said, "We'd love to interview you on the radio station about your book." So I said, "Sure." So I got interviewed that week. And soon after, he asked me if I wanted my own show. And at first I thought, no, I'm really not that person, And I thought about it, and we talked about it a little more, and I prayed about it, and God said, do it. You got to understand something, guys. I was in my early 50s when I wrote my book. Okay, so I wasn't 20, 30 years old. I was, in my 50s. So now I'm going to host a radio show in my 50s. I was like, okay, let's do it. I love to talk, and I laugh, and I tell everybody that I got in trouble every day of my life in school for talking. So now looking back, I should have done this a long time ago. But then again, I will say this. God's timing is perfect. Okay? So I started doing some incredible shows on Hamilton Radio. And because of that, other networks picked me up. I got picked up by PANJ Radio out of Lambertville, New Jersey, by Rob Bell. And that show, that also was going really well. And then brother DJ Hall of Fame himself, Alaski, 2019, International DJ Hall of Fame. In 2000, I want to say I've been with them 2 years, so maybe like 2007, 18, maybe 2018. Time flies, guys. I'm not sure exactly when, but I got a message from Brother O, and he said, "I'd like you to come along." And here's the best part about this whole thing. He said to me, "At this point, you will be my only Caucasian host." And I jumped on it. I'm a wise guy. I'm Italian. I'm a sarcastic nut job. And I just laughed and jumped on it and said, I'm in. If for nothing else, for that. So then I was picked up by Remember Then Radio. Now I'm doing Damon Looks. So, a lot has gone on since I wrote my book in 2016. Well, I was also enshrined into the Hall of Fame with Brother O, and that was an incredible thing. I never expected that in my life. So I was enshrined in 2019 for Internet International Radio Show host. And that was a turning point for me because so many more things happened since then. And people reach out to me constantly, just like Angela and I were talking prior, like to her as well, and we're there for you. We're there to help you. But I want to talk to you about addiction. And that's my real calling. I'm also a recovery coach. I'm also a nutritional health coach. And I'm a vegan chef. And I cured myself of 2 cancers when I was in my 30s through nutrition. Okay, I was very sick. I went away and learned about fasting. So I cured myself. I don't believe I would be here today if I didn't do it the natural way. So when all this stuff started happening in my life, God, spoke to me. And he was the one who actually said, like in my poem, write your book. And God talks to me on a regular basis, answer that call, text this person, speak up. And I have to listen. So I want to read a couple more poems. And then I want to talk to you about addiction and actually recovery, okay? So this one is called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. And the reason I want to read this one to you now is because like I just said, God talks to me and lets me know what he wants from me on a regular basis. We all have gifts and talents. Every single one of us. We're born with it. Okay? It's up to us to tap into that. Because until we tap into it, we're not going to be able to utilize it and help others. So every one of us has been given something. And I just wish everyone tapped into that and used it for positive and for good. So here's this poem. Utilizing gifts and talents. We are born with talents. We are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint. I also write poetry and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used. God's gifts to us not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, then our jobs to share them to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back, or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened, and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, your name will live forever, forever and a day. Go through life excited for what you sure can give. To yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quiet, lonely, but our legacy lives on. Make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. I had little papers in here telling me which ones I was going to read before you and I talked. Tell me that was not from God.
I tell you,
Number
I,
two.
I just I don't know what to say because it's just like nothing that I do now it's like nothing I can do if it's not about God, it's just like it don't come together for me. And every platform I go on, it does not matter what platform I'm on, the message is the same. That's how you know God is in the midst of what you're doing. I thank God for you.
Number two, I wrote that before. Okay.
And then we talked about we shared a little bit, but not only that, I want those that are listening to know that that poem that she just read was also featured in this month's issue, August issue of Aspiring Authors magazine. So you can get a copy of the magazine and you could learn just a little bit about Geri as well. You know, I thank you for coming on here tonight and being transparent and sharing because people need to know that no matter where they are in life, that God has a plan for them. Right. And just as he did the things that he did for you, and look where you are now. He took you from running whatever you was doing in New Jersey, running the streets, doing drugs and hanging and partying and whatever, however you was doing it. And he took your story, he took your life, he took your journey and allowed you to have not just one show, but 5 shows to share, to encourage people, to empower people, to help people come out of that they're going through so that they don't have to go down the roads that you went down. See, if we had not gone through the things that we had gone through, right, we wouldn't be able to be on this show. Who knows? What if things had went different?
You're
and we
right.
not be given the opportunity to come on these platforms. So I want to thank Brother O for being obedient and listening to the voice of the higher power and being obedient and creating this network for us, creating this platform for us to be able to come on here to share. But I thank God not only for that, but I thank Him for creating D.A.M.O.N Speaks to give me an opportunity to interview you guys and to bring you guys from behind the airways and behind the computers and allow people to be able to see you face to face and put that voice with that sweet face and that smile.
Yeah.
I tell you, you brighten my day every time I talk to you. I don't care what you may be going through. You always have a smile. And you don't know what that do to people. You don't know how that encourage people because you never know what the next person is going through. You never know what people are dealing with. You never know. A smile never hurts.
You're right.
Comment never hurts. Picking up the phone, texting somebody, it never hurts.
You're right.
You know, we have to love on people because if we apply the word to anything, it say love covers a multitude of sin. Love covers a multitude of sin. So I thank you because you are definitely an example of what love is. You know, I've been sharing with people for the last couple of weeks now what life means to me. You know, for so long I just been existing. I haven't really even been living life. I just been existing. That's what I come to find out in what God revealed to me. You know, life. We see that word, those four letters all the time. But what does it really mean to us? The L, the I, the F, the E. What does it mean? Do you show love? Do you inspire people? Do you have the fear of God in you? Are you trying to educate, empower, and encourage somebody? Are we really doing those things? You know, those are the things that He revealed to me that need to take place so that I can show, you know, somebody how to live life, and how to live life and receive abundance. So I want to thank you and thank you for allowing me to ravel and allowing me to brag on you and to share on you. But this is your time. This is your time to allow those that are following my platform and those that are going to see this across the different platforms that we're going to share it on, just to know just who is the Jersey Jewel that's on these airways that they're tuning into on Tuesdays and every 4 weeks on Tuesdays at 9:30. Who is the Jersey Jewel? Who
Stay
is she?
on the screen with me. I like looking at you. Don't go
I
off.
will. I
Stay
will.
there.
I will. I
Okay.
will.
So I want to talk about addiction and recovery. And I want to
Okay.
explain to everyone out there why we have to start looking at it differently. I'm going to read a poem called Face It Till You Make It, not Fake It Till You Make It. Okay, no. And then I'm going to tell you why. Okay, guys? Fake it till you make it is a term heard so much. I don't really agree. It's living with a crutch. Not just for addiction, all life lessons, my friend. That's a sad in life to live until the end. I'd rather go by a saying more real. Face it till you make it in spite of how you feel. We got to grow up, put our past behind. In spite of our hurts, there's greatness to find. I'd rather go through life smiling every day, holding up my chin, all good things to say. Positive thinking and actions likewise throw out a force up into the skies. What we project is what we will earn. Karma is real. We each have a turn. Your thoughts are wired to make you think. With what you do can make you sink. Keep all your thoughts uplifting and real. Feeding your mind crap destroys how you feel. So don't put out crap. It comes back to bite. Stand up real tall and just fight the fight. I promise you this, if you face all your fears, it may be quite scary, but will add to your years. One day you'll be happy with who you now are. Just look at me. I've really come far. I look in the mirror and like what I see, but most important, I really love me. The reason why that is such an important poem is because we should all hold that to our standards of how we want to live and how we want to go through life. When I first wrote my book, I showed you it was this thin. I revised my book and it's this thick now. Okay? So, addiction, recovery, and why we need to look at it differently. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something that I didn't know when I first wrote my book, and that's why I really revised it. Back in the day, all right, I'm going to just say what I want to say. Okay, Angela, is that okay?
Yes.
I'm an open book here. Okay. So back in the day, Bill W. really, truly wanted to help the addicts and alcoholics. So he started AA. He was one of the founders. And his mission was really to save these people. And he suffered, this is all public information, guys. You could check it out. It's all public. He suffered from suicidal thoughts and depression and horrendous. He didn't want to live, and it was a horrible time for him. And he reached out to a friend of his who was a doctor, and I believe the doctor might be from a different country. And he gave him niacin, the real niacin, the one that makes you sweat. And it saved his life. At that point, Bill W. approached AA and said, we have to give all the addicts and alcoholics niacin. He was told absolutely not, that they needed to keep them addicts. By then, corporate America already filtered in, and that was their mission now, to make money. Pharmaceutical industry came in, a lot went on. So now what they're teaching is this. They're teaching the addict and the alcoholic that they have a disease, they'll have it forever, and that they're powerless over this disease they have, whatever their addiction is. Now, I'm going to tell you how I can prove to you right now that that's not correct. Okay? First of all, there's only like a 10% recovery rate in those rooms. That in itself should tell everybody we have to start looking at this differently. That's not working. That's not working. And unfortunately, every one of us knows someone who's either dealing with addiction or who has lost the battle. Every one of us, no matter who you are. So on one hand, they tell the addict this. You have a disease that you're powerless over, and you'll have it forever. On the other hand, they tell the family members that the person you love who has this disease that they're powerless over needs to hit rock bottom, and you shouldn't help them until they decide to get better. Well, that's contradicting it, right? Because how could 1 and 1 does not make 2 here? How could the person who's powerless over it and has a disease be able to make that change? So they're saying that person's capable by telling the family members not to help them. Got it? So something's wrong and people are buying into it. So how it really is this. They have a dis-ease of the brain cells while using. And it doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. It could be food. It could be sex. It could be gambling. Whatever takes over your brain and becomes an addiction, that's the problem, because it's all mental. Okay? So once you can make a decision to stop using or doing what it is that you're doing for at least 60 days, I can help you heal forever and never have obsessions again. Number 1, you have to get off all sugar. 100% of addicts, alcoholics are all addicted to sugar. See, they give you sugar in all the rehabs as well. You can get sugar anytime you want in the machines and all that crap soda, right? Your brain cannot distinguish the difference between drugs and sugar. They think you're doing dope. Your brain thinks you're still doing heroin. So they're keeping you an addict, even by giving you sugar. So the majority of addicts never get off sugar. So that's their new drug of choice because their body's feeding off of it, making them feel a little bit better. Okay, but they're still doing drugs. So I don't want to get into all that because I just want to say this to everybody out there. I changed my life. I didn't just stop doing drugs. I was doing heroin and everything. I didn't just stop doing drugs. When I got out of the rehab, I went to Princeton House. I was there for 30 days at the time back then. And when I got out, I did everything they said I should do. I went to meetings every day for a month. I got a sponsor. They got me one while I was in there. And after the 30 days, I wanted to shoot myself. all I kept thinking was, how can I heal and how can I get better if I'm going to stand up in front of these meetings every day and say, hi, I'm Geri, I'm an addict, I'm powerless over it, blah, 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 and listen to all these war stories every day. You're not going to heal. You're not going to get better, and you're not going to become all right, a dry drunk. I don't know if everyone out there has heard that expression, but what a dry drunk means is the person's not drinking anymore, but his behavior hasn't changed. So that's what happens to the addict when they stop using drugs, but they still believe they're addicts and they still continue to do everything that they've already done. And they're going to these meetings and they're powerless and having sugar and soda and bad food and blah, blah. They're still an addict. So I would rather, honestly, for the Lord to take me than for me to have to live that kind of a lifestyle. Okay. I said that wasn't okay with me. And I'm going to tell you a story, a biblical story. So if you truly give your life to God, which I did, I'm not perfect. I sin every day. That's not what I mean. But I asked God to take over and really help me and heal me. And he did. And if you truly do that, he's going to change you. He's going to change your mind, your spirit, your body, everything. And here's proof of that. Saul crucified Christians. Okay? He murdered them on a daily basis, right, Angela? Okay. When he gave his life to Jesus, when he gave his life to God, what did God do? Do you remember? He was called Saul.
He changed his name
to Paul.
You
know why?
Because he was a new person.
Thank you. He was a new person in Christ. God said, you are no longer that person. So you can't even have that name. He was a totally different person. He didn't obsess about killing Christians. So I'm here to tell you that if you can give your life to God, if you can give your life to Christ, and you really truly want to change, you'll never be that person again. Okay, nothing about my lifestyle is an addict. Nothing. Okay. I used to have a poker league called Midnight Owl Poker. I was in bars and restaurants every night for 10 years. I gave it up just a few years ago. Well, a lot of my players were alcoholics. A lot of them smoked pot. They would be outside. I would go out and get them and grab them and drag them in. It never made me want to drink or do drugs. Okay. Do you know how many people I brought to, not me personally, but through me, through Jesus, accepted him in these bars, even Hooters, accepting Jesus. Imagine that. So they all knew what I stood for, and they all knew they could call me. They accepted Jesus outside of Hooters. They would call me in the middle of the night crying, you're right, I need God. God finally said 2.5 years ago, Jarrett, you can give it up now. So I'm here to tell everybody out there that you have to put your faith in something absolutely greater than yourself. So this higher power that they talk about, I actually heard someone say to me their higher power was a special chair they had in their home, because when they sat in that chair, they felt empowered. Well, I'd rather think it's God than a chair. I want to know that somebody much greater than me has my back, because look what I did with me without God. Right? Look at what I did. So I already proved to myself that I'm not good enough to make sure I'm okay. Okay? So once I gave it to God, and then I'll tell you about giving it to God. All right? Everybody says things like this to me as well. I don't believe in God, Geri, because if there was a God, this wouldn't happen, and these bad things wouldn't happen, and all this stuff, right? Okay. Well, he's up there waiting for you. He gave us free will. I would not want to live without it, Angela, never. He gave us free will. So he's not going to force himself on us.
Never.
But he's there waiting with open arms. So once we say, okay, Father, I need you, I'm yours, then he'll never leave you. And it's just like an earthly parent. It's just like an earthly parent. So if a child runs away, that earthly parent can't help them. Okay? Till the child comes back and says, Mom or Dad, I'm sorry and I need you. It's the same thing. So, addiction, do I believe that we all have some sort of addictive behavior? I do, but we created it. We weren't born that way. We created it. The best way to live your life is, number one, accepting Jesus, giving it to God. Number two, eating a clean diet, getting off all processed foods, all sugar, all soda. Make homemade. Eat mostly vegetables. I'm vegan, but you don't have to be. As long as you're not eating crap and GMOs, and try to do organic. I know it's more expensive, but it's your health, because here's what I say. When you were drugging and smoking and drinking, you got the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, you got the money. So you can get the money to do something healthy for you. That's another thing I want to talk about. The addict's mind. Okay? The addict can choose to stay clean and sober or use. And they prove it every day. They're brilliant. They choose how to get their drugs. They choose how to get what they need for it, their money. They're very intelligent. So they can use that same intelligence to say, well, now I want to make a change and I want to live my life clean.
Mm-hmm.
They're capable of that, Angela. It goes over into everything in life, not just drugs, not just alcohol, food, not just gambling, sex, right? It goes over to even relationships, being abused in relationships, allowing it. When you don't love yourself enough or think you're worth it, so many terrible things happen.
Amen.
But when you give your life to God and He empowers you and tells you you are worth it, once you start believing that, you won't allow the abuse anymore.
Yeah.
Right? I want to read another poem. I think this is important for everybody out there to hear. Okay. Okay, guys. Talk to me a minute, Angela, while I'm looking for this, because God just like laid this on my heart. I wasn't going to read this, but I think I need to. Okay. All
Okay.
right. I found
Take
it.
your time. You found it? Okay.
Found it. It's called a peace of mind,
All right.
because that's what we all need to survive. When we look in the mirror, we need to be able to have that peace of mind instead of that struggle of who we see. Okay? We need to be able to see what God sees in us. If
Amen.
we can look at another person and say, wow, you're beautiful. Wow, I love your smile. Oh my gosh, I love your hair. Oh my gosh, I love your voice. What you're doing, oh my God, you're amazing. You're incredible. We should be able to say that about ourselves, because
Amen.
if God made us, He didn't make no garbage here. Okay? So, a peace of mind. From my heart to my mouth, these words I will shout. Women and men are just not the same. It's really unfair to play the same game. We think with our hearts, they think with their heads. You heard me right, in their minds and beds. I don't let them hurt me. It's not their fault. A switch in their brains just comes to a halt. We do not have that switch at all. But listen, ladies, we still stand tall. As we mature, we do learn what's right. We do have the power to now fight or flight. Most men think at times the love that they show is enough to sustain, while we're thinking no. Not always their fault. They do learn from us. If we want them to change, showing love is a must. They need great respect. It's how they are made. Respect filled with love. Ground rules are then laid. We have the choice. Ladies, hear me. If we're not respected, then set him free. A woman needs to be heard and validated by his word. If a man shows love, we give it back. We must feel safe, or love we lack. If you give a woman love or hate, you will get it back tenfold. Just wait. Once we really know our worth, others actions towards us won't hurt. Our hearts we wear for all to see. It intimidates men, but sets us free. A man has boxes, he stores stuff. We just have one, it holds enough. They can separate through the day. Women were made keeping all at bay. Ladies, know this, you do have the power to choose men wisely, to water your flower. My heavenly Father, an earthly one, created me strong, not weak and undone. I do love our men. Ladies, hear this. When they are trying, they don't dismiss. It's no longer a man's world. I've just proved that. We must work together, men and women format. Life could be great. It's in our hands. Men and women unite in all the lands. Last but not least, men should tip their hat because women are stronger. Vaginas prove that. So
Oh,
I just had to say all that. God laid it on my heart to read that poem. I wasn't prepared. That's why I had to look for it.
okay. I tell you, I have truly been blessed. I know a lot of people that catch a lot of the people that follow me on my platform. Of course, they tune in to your shows, and I
And
can't
like
say
the
all.
review.
They love you, and they love your spirit, and I just wanted to give um, some people an opportunity to really put a face to your voice
Thank
because they tune in and they hear you, and I just wanted to give them a chance to really connect with you because they've connected with your spirit already. And I want to give them a chance to connect with you.
thank you.
I want you to share with the listeners, those that are following tonight, and those that will catch the replay, when they can catch you on the network.
Okay. Um, I'm on the same week as you. So we were on last week, right?
Yes, you
Okay.
want last week.
So 4 weeks from last week on Beverly Nation at 9:30 p.m. Right? Okay. Um, you can catch me every other week on Hamilton Radio at 4:30 p.m. and I'm live on Facebook. D.A.M.O.N looks. I usually do one or two a month, and that is depending on that's different times, guys. But I do put the ads out a week in advance, so I let everybody know what's going on. And then I do not my network, my I called it a network, and it's not a network. The Geri Petito Show now. I have like a stream, so I do
Mm.
that one as well, and that's also different times and days. It depends on the guests and my schedule. But I always put my ads out, at least a week in advance, so everybody knows I'm out there. Guys, listen to me. Angela and I are here, honestly, to save lives. We absolutely are. God has put that on our hearts, and we're obeying. So you can reach out to either one of us anytime. If you want to talk to Angela and you're a personal friend of mine, I'll hook you up with her. If vice versa, she'll hook you up with me. We love each other. We're there for each other. She has an incredible platform as well. Tell them about your platform real quick. I love your platform.
So I am on. Of course, I have Sador Radio. That's a show that I have on first and third Sundays on the radio. You can download the Sador Radio app from Apple Play or Google Play. It comes on 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I will be on this Sunday for amazing guests. I'm going to be coming on and sharing. We're going to be touching on suicide because today actually kicked off Suicide Awareness Month. And of course, everyone knows that I am a suicide awareness advocate. I advocate for suicide awareness because I am a suicide attempt survivor. So I am definitely advocating this month. I am also the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine. I
I
have a
love
copy
that.
of our magazine.
Yes.
This is what the magazine looks like. Actually, August issue just released on last night, so you can get a copy of August issue. It is all over Facebook. I've posted the links all over Facebook, but you can go to Aspiring Authors magazine page and go under the About section, and you can click on any of the links I have May, June, July, and August link posted. You can order a copy of your magazine and have it shipped directly to your home. You just simply click on the link, or either you can download the PDF copy to any digital device. I am also one of the co-hosts for we call Release Her Sounds news station. We're actually live on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. I tell you, I share the platform with 5 other amazing women. And our desire is just to educate, empower, encourage, and uplift individuals into their purpose. We just want people walking in their purpose. We want people to know that it does not matter what your what ifs is, because we can't change none of the what ifs. We can't change our past. There's nothing that we can do about anything that happened 5 seconds ago. All we can do is worry about tomorrow. We can't even, we can't even worry about tomorrow. Excuse me. Only thing we can worry about is today. We can't worry about tomorrow, because if we are truly believers and believe the word of God, he tells us that tomorrow will take care of itself. So we have to worry about our now. We have to worry about our now and how we can affect people's lives and impact people's lives today. So I use all my platforms to bring awareness to various topics, to bring awareness to authors, to just really spread the goodness of God and let people know that there is life. And he revealed to me what life was and how we can live life and be relevant and not just exist, but how we can make an impact. And I tell you, you are definitely doing that. I am.
Don't let me forget something I got to tell you. I just thought of something, but go ahead, continue.
You are definitely making an impact, and you are definitely walking in purpose. I thank you, because every time I ask this, I asked this young lady to come on my platform and share. She comes on my platform. She brings poems, whatever, coming with knowledge, education, wealth of wisdom. I tell you, before we even begin the show, I have this little box. It's my prayer box, and someone gave this to me. And it has the Serenity Prayer on it, and it's not by coincidence that you begin to touch on this prayer a little. But the Serenity Prayer: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. You know, we have to understand that there's some things in life that we cannot change.
That's right.
But we have to know how to accept those things, and we have to know who to give it to, someone that can. That's why he say, no, have the wisdom to know the difference. We got to know the difference when it's something that we can't do anything about, when we can't change it. You know, we have to know how we can give it to God and how he has all power. Because if we believe in Proverbs 21:1, he said the power of the king, it lies in the hands of the king. He can turn the rivers of water any which way he wants. So he can turn it to the left, he can turn it to the right, and he can do it at a blink of a second. He can do it in a twinkling of an eye. It doesn't take him long to change any situation in any given direction, to change whatever it is that you're going through. So somebody needed to hear that tonight. And I tell you, it's no coincidence that this show is taking place tonight, because actually I was supposed to have another guest. And when I tell you God is always in the midst, he always have to stir up some things to get some things done. So I thank him for allowing me the opportunity to share you with the world. I mean, the world.
Tell you something, I'm busting at the seams.
People are gonna see this. People are gonna hear this, and they're gonna hear from all over the place, because I'm gonna share until I can't share no more. And I'm asking everybody else to share until they can't share no more, because I want people to tune into our network. I want people to tune into our shows. We're on every night. Somebody is on. We might not be on there, but somebody's on every night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can call in to 516-453-9133, and you can join the conversation by pressing 1. Conversation is brought to you by Looking Gas Entertainment. I tell you, I'm just happy to be a part of the network, and I thank you for taking me under your wings.
I love you.
Just pouring into me. It has truly been a blessing to be a part of this network and to have you in my life. So I definitely, I want the followers to connect with you and, tune into your show now that they can put
I have to tell you. I'm busting. Yeah. Okay. you have to connect with a group. All right.
Okay.
So I'm not asked to speak a lot when it comes to recovery and addiction because I will not bow down to what they want me to say. I'd
Mm-hmm.
never say you're powerless. I'd never say it's a disease. So they keep me at bay. I'm friends with everyone. City of Angels, I'm friends with everyone. And I've even done stuff with all of them. Okay. But someone reached out and asked if anyone wanted to give their story about addiction or recovery. And it was from Refreshed Recovery. Okay.
Okay.
Refreshed Recovery. So there's two platforms on Facebook. One is Refreshed Recovery, which is private, but then there's one Refreshed Recovery, no longer anonymous. Okay? Jared Bybee, he started this. He's almost 5 years. I'm going to use the term clean and sober, but that's not what I feel. But he's 5 years. He changed his life 5 years ago and gave it to God. Okay. So, having said that, he got in touch with, he put out something and asked if anyone wanted to tell their story. So I messaged him and said yes. But then I said, all right, God, once he hears my take on addiction and recovery, he's probably going to say, no, thank you, Jer. Angela, he calls me up. He tells me his story. I was jumping in my chair. I'm like, Lord, this is you. This is from you. His story is my story. He changed his life. He doesn't agree with AA and NA. Changed his life, gave it to God. God healed him. His platform is now Hope Dealers, not dope dealers, Hope Dealers. Okay, so we have to get you guys connected. Okay, incredible platform. So I did an hour and a half. He gave me the mic. That was it. An hour and a half, told my entire story. Now he added me to his groups and asked me if I wanted to be part of it. And I said, absolutely. So God absolutely, 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 absolutely had his hand in that. So
Amen.
I want to read one last poem. Okay. Christianity. Okay. Now, all right. This one's a long poem because it's kind of added with Jesus, but I want to read this. And then if we have to close, that's okay. But this is what I really want to read to everyone, okay?
Okay.
All right. So many religions have surfaced today. Most of us wonder which one's the right way. Being brought up Catholic, I wasn't a fan. I always struggled with listening to man. I just wasn't buying the crap that they said. My salvation's in Jesus through his blood he shed. Not sacraments and giving cash, confessional boots and Wednesday ash. These rules they speak of are all man-made. If you open the Bible, man's words will fade. You won't find them in there because God said it clear. You won't work your way into heaven, my dear. Most big religions have put God away. They want your alliance and what you can pay. What Jesus nailed upon that cross before his last breath he took, his words were spoken for us to hear. It is finished. And he left us his book. I tell you the truth, there's only one God. When you take your last breath, he'll greet you and nod. I hope you are ready to meet him that day. Want to hear him say, well done, instead of casting you away. My works are just worthless. I'd end up in hell. That's why he sent Jesus. Now in heaven I'll dwell. I'm not ashamed to proclaim his name. I'm not ashamed. It's God I claim. I want to just read a couple parts of this one. When Jesus said, it is finished, they took him off that cross. He rose from the dead so your soul wasn't lost. He no longer dangles on the cross from that day. He's free from that cross. Jesus now made the way. We wear a cross because we're his kid, to be reminded what this man did. The crucifix should not be worn. Religion keeps God on the cross in scorn. Man made rules to cost a fee. The price of Jesus to you is free. Come as you are and don't pretend. He knows all things beginning to end. Religion is evil. It causes lots of pain. God's full of love. In heaven you'll reign. It was then that I heard him. I cried out one night, whoever's out there, please show me the truth. Does anyone care? It was then that I heard him as clear as can be. I'm here and I care. I made you for me. You are not alone. I will lead the way. I'll never leave you. Your price I did pay. I'll never put rules on the way you should live. I gave you free will from my life I did give. You have the choice. The choice is yours. There are two choices behind each doors. Now, I'm going to go to the end of this. It is finished were his last words. His flock will now be saved, marching in herds. It is finished, I know he said. Now you can live and not be dead. Ask Jesus to free you of bondage Satan holds. Ask Jesus to stand guard as the Bible now unfolds. All that was written is being played out. Will you be ready or will you have doubt? Will you be ready the day he returns or left behind to feel the burns? My prayer is this, that you take heed to know the reason Jesus did bleed. The time is near, it really is. Will you be ready to say you're his? There you go, sweetheart.
Amen. 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 Geri, I really want to thank you for coming on today and allowing me to share you with the followers so that they can put that face to the voice that they're hearing. Um, Again, I thank you.
Oh, thank you too. Really, I love it.
And again, Geri is on every 4 weeks on Tuesday, the day before I come on, the day after Andrea. So you have to follow the three amigos. That's what we are. You have to follow us. We are the three amigos. I tell you, these two women. And thank you, Andrea, for tuning in. Andrea is tuned in. She's
The
been
voice of hope,
coming.
baby.
Oh
The
my
voice
gosh,
of
she has been coming and she's been saying amen. She's been shouting all over the place over there. I'm shouting.
hope.
And then she's been coming. So Andrea, thank you for supporting. My sister has been supporting. She said amen. And yes, she's been supporting. I talk about you a lot, so it seems like she just knows you.
Hi.
So she tuned in. So I thank those two for tuning in and commenting. And I know a lot of people are tuned in. I just didn't see all of the comments because it's not letting me see the comments if they don't agree to the little, they have a little thing that they have on StreamYard. If you don't agree to
Okay.
comment, they won't let you comment when you go live from your personal page. And a lot of people don't know that. So
Okay.
I'm not ignoring anyone, just so they know. It just doesn't make it available to comment unless you accept it. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. They said, welcome, love you ladies, and hello, beautiful. Is what.
Hello, beautiful back.
So I just want to thank you, Geri,
And I
for
want to
coming
thank you.
on and sacrificing this last hour to share with me and to give.
Sacrifice. Not a sacrifice with you, never. And thank you for this platform. Never a sacrifice. Guys, I can tell them you can go on
Yes,
Barnes
please
and
tell them
Noble.
where they can get your
Go,
book.
go on barnesandnobles.com. No, actually, go on Archway Publishing through Simon & Schuster. Go there right now because we're doing some changes again. So Archway Publishing through Simon & Schuster. Okay? There you go. Thank you. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass because 29 years ago, guys, I was a dumbass, but today I'm a smart ass.
We're going to get you to post the
I
link.
love you.
We want to get you to post a link in the comment section. So if somebody want to reach out.
Andrea, do it
Also,
for me. Archway Publishing.
I'm gonna post your Geri Petito Facebook page.
Okay.
So if they want to follow you, they can follow
Thank
you.
you.
Again, I thank you for all that you do. I thank you for all the lives that you have touched, that you are touching, and that you will touch.
Thank you.
I thank God for this amazing platform here on the O.N.N. Dynasty. I thank Him for allowing us to come on and be a part of the O.N.E. Dynasty. You are, of course, the host of Beverly Nation, and I am a part of D.A.M.O.N. So it's amazing how we can come together from two different networks under one umbrella and be able to. It's amazing. So I thank God for that opportunity and that platform. So you guys have been up close and personal with Angela, getting to know the voice, the face behind the voice of the Geri Petito Show. So I want to thank you guys for joining us on tonight. Please go over and follow Geri Petito, and you can go over and follow our network, Ngozi Time. So go to Blog Talk Radio and search Ngozi Time, and you will see a list of all of our previous shows. So you can just click on and check us out and listen to some of our previous shows. But make sure you tune in live when we're on. Again, Andrea, Geri, and myself, we will be on. Now it's going to be 3 weeks. Geri will actually be on 3 weeks from today.
Okay.
Because today is Tuesday. So she will be on 3 weeks from today. And of course, I will be on 3 weeks from tomorrow, and Andrea 3 weeks from yesterday. Of course, the three amigos always grace the platform the same week. And we were on last week. So
Andrea will get the crown in 3 weeks Monday. She'll pass it to me the next night Tuesday, and I'll pass it to you on Wednesday.
That's how we do. That's how we do. I thank you guys for setting the bar high, because y'all set the bar high, I get the opportunity to, because y'all been doing this a little longer than me. So y'all allow me the opportunity to set the bar higher.
You're amazing.
People that are coming after us. So I thank y'all for setting the standard and setting the bar high. So I have something to strive for and something to go after, because I tell you, it's my goal. I want that crown from Geri.
You want that crown, baby?
Yeah,
I want that crown from Geri. It's my goal to give it to you. I want you to get that crown, man. I pray to God, let her get the crown. Let her get the crown.
So I be trying to make sure that I provide a positive, uplifting, encouraging show for my guests, so they would tune in and want to stay connected with us. So thank you for all the great things that you do for the network, and all the lives that you're touching. I tell you, you're truly a blessing. I love you, and keep dreaming. Keep chasing your dream.
You too. I feel the same exact way about you. Thank you for this incredible platform tonight. Thank you for interviewing me again. And listen, thank you for being you. Okay? You are touching so many lives. You are saving lives. People are reaching out to me, and I showed you a message just from today. Hello, I saw your name from Angela. And I'm like, this is so great. Okay? I love you, girl.
I love you too, Geri. And thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. I'll talk to you soon. Love you.
Love you too.
So you guys have been tuned in to D.A.M.O.N Speaks. This is my first show for D.A.M.O.N Speaks, and I tell you, I have truly been blessed to be able to come on here and allow you to get up and close and personal with that voice that you hear on the O&E Dynasty Network. I tell you, it's nothing like putting a face to that voice. I tell you, it has truly been a delight being able to share my co-host with you guys. I tell you, she's definitely been a blessing to me. Please go over and follow her on Facebook. Purchase her book. Andrea have posted the links. You can purchase her book from Archway Publishing. I'm going to leave that up there for a little while so you can get that. You can purchase it from Archway Publishing, and you can check her out on O&E Dynasty. She's a part of Beverly Nation. She will be on September 22nd at 9:30 p.m. So please support the network. Check Geri out. And now that you know who that beautiful voice is with that beautiful face, come over and support her. I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I love you guys, and be blessed.